Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today I've got something special for you. Today I wanted to talk about the things that are transpiring with Kevin Durant right now in the league. So yeah, I want to get into that topic, but before we get into that, I just want to make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe. My goal is 1,000 subscribers by June, and I know it's a hard goal for my channel, but it would mean a lot if you could hit that like button and subscribe button. I'll just give you a minute to hit that button. Hit that button. I'm just kidding. But aside from that, let's jump into this video. So as you guys know, over the past, I think like 3 days or 4 days, Kevin Durant got into a scandal with comedian Michael Rappaport. And the scandal stems from Michael taking shots. I don't really know if it was shots, but he critiqued the interview that Kevin Durant had with Charles Barkley a few months ago. Like, this happened like a few months ago, right? And he said he just didn't like how Kevin Durant was giving one-answer questions, right? And I guess that rubbed Kevin the wrong way. As we know, Kevin's a very sensitive dude. He will literally go back and forth with people on Twitter when they critique him. He's not like other superstars. His skin is the thinnest out of all the superstars I know in the NBA. And so, of course, he had a problem with this. So he went and DM'd Michael Rappaport, and he went ballistic on that man. He said some things that you shouldn't be saying to people. He threatened him. He told him he, in my opinion, crossed the line when he brought his wife into it. He said his wife doesn't respect him. He's a clout chaser. He's a bunch of all these things. I'm gonna put the tweets up on the screen for you guys to read. But yeah, it was not some easy stuff, right? And it was like really harsh things, which would make any man angry. But when you bring another man's wife into a situation, it's gonna make him angry. 3 things you never mess with in this world. You never mess with another man's money. You never mess with another man's wife. You never mess with another man's ego, or else the man will mess with you. And of course, Rappaport was pretty angry, and so he took to social media. He exposed Kevin Durant for all the nasty things he said in the DMs, which I think was kind of, iffy. I don't know if that's how you should do it, but regardless, he did. He let the world know what Kevin Durant was saying. And after that, the whole Twitter world, sports world, was in shambles, was in shock. They were exposed to what Kevin Durant does privately, and this kind of put heat on Kevin Durant. And since that, Kevin came out and he apologized. Half-hearted apology. I don't really think he meant it. I think
I'm sorry that people seen the language I use. It's not really what I want people to see and hear from me. But hopefully I can move past it and get back out on the floor. Initially, I didn't think it was that bad. It was just a strain, I thought it was a grade 1. It felt like that. And then we did a second scan, and they seen it was a little deeper than that. So one of those things where I'm not feeling a ton of pain, but it's just like you don't want to, force one of these injuries and go out there and make it worse. So it's just like, in my mind, I'm just like, damn, I could play. But then it's also like, man, you got to be smart and cautious with this type of injury. So just try to be patient with it all, and just rehab as hard as I can. And I've been through this situation before, so I just try to take myself back to that place. Piggyback on what Steve said. I mean, I feel great. I feel like be soon that I could be out there with my teammates. Last month or so has just been me working out every day and playing here and there with my teammates, but mainly just working out, just trying to stay ready, keeping my stamina up and sharpening up my skills so I can be able to transition back smoothly. But it's been too long for me. I'm just excited to hopefully get back out there soon. Oh, yeah, and adding Blake and LaMarcus, 2 guys that with veteran experience, is looking forward to playing alongside them. Guys who, who've been through a lot in this league, and, looking forward to another opportunity to chase something special here with us. So I'm looking forward to it.
he apologized because he was caught, not because of what he said. Honestly, I think everything he said in those DMs were true to heart. I think he meant every single word of it. And because there was heat on him and pressure on him, he came out and he apologized and said that he apologizes for the language that was used in the DMs. That's not the way he wants to be seen in a world, and hopefully we can move past this and he can get back on the court, which I have a few bones to pick with that. Number one, right? Kevin, you're not playing. You shouldn't be making headlines about anything aside from basketball, right? Number two, we can't just move past this because this happens with you over and over again. You always end up in the news for something dumb like this. Whether you're going at it with another fan, whether you got a burner account, it's not just something we move past. You've done this in the past multiple times and it's a pattern for you. So my advice, either get off social media or get someone that can keep you in check and say, no, that's dumb. You're gonna end up on ESPN from something that's not related to basketball, right? So I don't think he really meant that. I think that's just, he was trying to do damage control, right? But aside from that, I digress. After the uproar and Kevin's apology, the NBA was kind of forced to fine KD, right? So the NBA came out and they fined Kevin Durant $50,000, which I have a problem with, not because of the money, but because the principle behind the fining. And here's my problem with that, right? So they come out, they fine Kevin Durant because of this. They fine Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant is one of the league's most premier stars in the league, right? There's a lot of eyes on Kevin Durant, meaning the way he carries himself, he's not only representing himself, he represents himself, the Brooklyn Nets, and more importantly, the entire organization, the entire league, right? So when he goes out and he says these things, like the language that he used in that DMs, right? It reflects bad on the NBA and they feel they need to nip that in the bud or teach him a lesson or whatever else, right? So they fine him so he doesn't do it again. But here's the problem. I could understand that were it public. This wasn't, the issue I have is that this was not public at all. This was private. This was behind closed doors. Kevin Durant was operating as if he was in private, of which he was, right? And he did not anticipate that this would ever go public. And the league cannot police what Kevin says in private. They can police and fine him for things like vulgar language in public, or how he carries himself in public, or if he is in any trouble with the law or whatever. They can fine him, suspend him, do whatever they want, right, to try and preserve their image. But this is not the same. Kevin Durant went in a DMs and he said those things in a private matter to a man, one-on-one, not in a public setting, had no anticipation that it would ever go public, right? And to his surprise, he was kind of blindsided, right, when Michael Rappaport went public with all of this, right? I don't agree with anything Kevin Durant said in those DMs. I don't think you should speak to someone like that. I don't think that was very professional. I think, Kevin, you're a basketball star, right? Worth millions of dollars, right? And you have, like, I'm surprised you even have time to do this, right? I'm surprised you have time to DM people and threaten them, bro. Like, meet me at 10 p.m. on this corner and we're gonna duke it out. Like, you're a basketball superstar worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Don't you have something better to do in your spare time? And I understand you don't like criticism, but Kevin, that comes with the job. You're a public figure. People are gonna say whatever at you. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go after every single person who says they don't like the way you play, they don't like the way you carry yourself, or the way that you, whatever else you do? There are hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people that don't like you. That's just the way it is. That's just the way the world works. You're not gonna go out there and scout and police and try to find every person in every nook and cranny that doesn't like you. That's just the way it is. You gotta let it go. People are gonna take shots at you. Imagine LeBron. LeBron's had to deal with this for almost 20 years. This is just what comes with being paid millions of dollars to dribble a basketball. You're gonna get criticized, right? And it comes with the job. It might as well be in your contract. It's job description, right? So I don't agree with anything Kevin Durant said because there's no grounds for him to even, be saying none of that stuff. Like, go work on your shot. Go do something. Like, go work on it. Go invest in a business or something. You got a number of things you could be doing instead of DMing people and threatening them or going back and forth with nameless fans on Twitter, right? But although I don't agree with what he said, I still have to defend his position, because if nobody does, this sets a precedent for the league to be doing outrageous things, such as policing people in private. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna spy on you on what you can and cannot say in private? No, that's not how it works, right? That's kind of a breach of privacy, right? And people are entitled to that. And you can't just go around, imposing that on people, right? Like, you're gonna become this organization who has too much power, right? And so that's the problem that I have with it. The principle behind why they fined Kevin Durant was not just at all. I don't think it was just, although it reflects bad on Kevin Durant and the league. Were it a different situation, I would agree with it, but because it was in private and because he had no intentions of it ever going private, he was carrying himself as Kevin Durant, not Kevin Durant, the Brooklyn Nets, and the league. It was just Kevin Durant and Michael Rappaport, right? And so he was kind of blindsided, and never, in my opinion, I don't think you should ever put something that's said in the DMs into the public world. That's why they're direct messages. Keep that in the DMs, it's private. It's basically a virtual backdoor, right? It's a virtual closed door, and that whatever's said in the DM stays in a DM, right? That's why I don't like when girls, go up and put dudes on blast when they DM them or whatever. Like, keep that in the DMs. And I know a lot of dudes say some nasty stuff in the DMs or whatever, but still, keep it in the DMs. Those are the DM rules, right? But yeah, those are just my issues with the league fining Kevin Durant $50,000. I know it doesn't make a dent in his pocket, but still, the principle behind it still doesn't sit right with me. They shouldn't be fining Kevin Durant for something he said in private. And yeah, so those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think it's just? Do you think Kevin Durant deserved this? Do you think Kevin Durant was out of line? Do you think Michael Rappaport actually was out of line for going public with those DMs? Let me know. There's no point in making these videos if I can't interact with you guys and talk about these kind of things, right? Like, sports are more fun when we talk about stuff, disagree about stuff, argue about stuff, right? So let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next installation.